When you think of business analysts, what comes to mind? Maybe it's requirement documents, user stories, Jira tickets. But in my experience, the most impactful BAs are far more than scribes. They're catalysts. They turn scattered ideas into meaningful outcomes. They smooth out chaos. They protect the integrity of both the user experience and the business vision. Recently, I had the opportunity to speak with a circle of business analysts who asked some fantastic, thought-provoking questions. Questions about their evolving roles and how to work more effectively with product managers. If you are a BA looking to level up or a product manager trying to understand how to better collaborate with your BA partners, this is the video for you. Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, my name is Teresa and I'm a product leader based in Melbourne, Australia. And on this channel, we unpack actionable strategies and practical tools to continuously grow in our career. Before we jump in, I actually started my career as a business analyst before transitioning into product management. Now that experience has shaped how I think, how I listen, and how I lead today. So if you're curious about how I made that transition in 3 simple steps, check out this video right here. So let's jump into the 15 questions I received and what are my thoughts on them. Question number 1, from your perspective, what are the most valuable contribution a business analyst can make to the product development process? I think the most valuable contribution a BA can bring to the table is clarity. Now, in the world of product management, there are so many ambiguity everywhere. And what the customer needs, how does the technology constraint works, what is the business really aiming for? Now, a very skilled BA connects the dots, distills the complexity into understanding insights, and bring a sense of that shared understanding that empower all of us and everyone to move faster and more confidently. Question number 2, how has the role of the BA changed in recent years and what skills are more critical than ever? I don't believe that BA are just requirement gatherers or writers. We expect BAs to think like user advocates, business strategists, and data-driven decision makers or contributors. BAs should be engaged in customer discovery, validating ideas early and influence product strategy and direction, not just record them anymore. Question number 3, what are some common pain points or challenges you've experienced when working with BA and how can they be avoided? I think one of the common pain points or challenges is when a BA focuses too heavily on documentation at the expense of conversations. It doesn't mean that we don't expect you to document anything, but enough for clarity and alignment. Now, the documentation these days are supposed to move us very quickly into delivery mode with user stories and acceptance criteria. If it's a complex piece of work, then back it up with some process or visual mapping if required to help us align. The best BAs I have worked with understands that early collaboration and iteratively clarification are most important than producing that perfect specification document. Question number 4, can you share an example of a time when a BA exceeded your expectation and what made their contribution so impactful? So I've worked with a lot of BAs, and some of the ones that's really outstanding didn't just take the requirements from stakeholders or myself, they actually went into the customer support calls, listened to the first-hand calls, and noticed trends where no one had reported. They brought back insights that led us to change our prioritization, avoiding costly mistakes, and that level of proactiveness, empathetic discovery truly evaluated the whole entire product for us. Question number 5, how important it is for BAs to have a strong understanding of user experience principles. I think it's extremely important. You don't have to be a designer, but you do need to understand the basic, like the usability, users having cognitive load, the friction points, allow you to advocate for better solutions. Otherwise, it's easy just to write requirements that kind of just tick the box, but users are still frustrated. We didn't actually achieve the right outcome. Question number 6, what role do you see BAs playing in data analysts and using data to drive product decisions? I think the data is no longer a nice to have. It's a fundamental part of your ability and your practice. BAs should be comfortable analyzing product usages, identifying patterns in behaviors, and validating assumptions with data. Even basic familiarity with analytics platforms or basic SQL queries to really elevate that BA skill that really helps support a product partner. Question number 7, how can BA effectively balance the need of various stakeholders such as customers, engineers, and business leaders? I think every stakeholder believes that their needs are the most urgent. And high-performing BAs actually listen deeply, validate assumptions, and work with product managers to actually have that balance, competing demand based on the value to the customer and the business, not just focusing on internal politics like who screams the loudest get the win. Question number 8, what are your expectations for a BA involvement in the product discovery phase? I think discovery is not a phase BAs should wait for PMs to lead. I can't expect BAs to be involved early, asking critical questions, suggesting experimentations, identify assumptions that need validation, and helping visualize the early journey flows or customer flows. Question number 9, how do you see BAs contributing to agile product development methodology? From an agile perspective, progress happens through rapid iteration. BAs should help break down large goals into clear, valuable chunks of work, user stories with acceptance criteria that will reduce misinterpretation and help speed up that delivery part. What are the key qualities or behaviors that distinguish a high-performing BA from an average one? So I think there are 2 things. One is that they have to stay curious. This is constantly asking the why. Now, digging deeper into the problems and seeking real understanding. Number 2, they are proactive. They don't have to wait for perfect information. They help teams move forward while managing uncertainty responsibly. Question number 11, how can BAs best communicate complex information to both technical and non-technical audiences? Now, a great BA can adapt their message to their audience. So know your audience. Technical teams want precision, executives or senior leadership wants outcomes. Use storytelling techniques like before and after scenarios or simple models to help each group quickly grasp what matters most. Don't assume that they know what you are talking about when you begin the meeting. Always set the scene with context and objective you wish to achieve in each meeting. Next question, what is your perspective on the BA roles in managing and prioritizing product backlog? Look, product managers are ultimately prioritizing backlog, but I see that BA plays a critical partner in here. A good BA ensures that clear stories and acceptance criteria are well defined and technical debt or hidden complexity are surfaced early to inform that prioritization. What advice do you have for BAs who want to advance their career and become more strategic partners to product teams? I think the biggest one for you is to shift your mindset from an order taker to a value creator. Now learn about the business models, understand your customers, get comfortable proposing, not just documenting ideas. Build influence by connecting with user needs, what the business needs, and what the technology can actually enable today. What are the emerging tools and technologies BA should learn? I think there's probably 4 areas. From a data visualization perspective, look into analytics products like Power BI, Looker, Amplitude, and learn some simple SQL queries. Then use some no-code platforms like Lovable to play around with prototyping that can help the designer and the product manager to build together and test with customers without any kind of code investment. Next, I like research tools like Dovetail. It's a great one for user research analysis post-interviews. And lastly, I would highly recommend you to use AI like ChatGPT to learn and use to build knowledge on basic SQLs. Last question, what is one thing you wish BAs knew or did to make your job as head of product easier? I wish that every BA knew how powerful they truly are. The best BA create momentum. They turn the whole confusing ideas into actionable next steps. They bridge that technical and business teams without drama. When BAs realize that their primary value isn't in documenting requirements, but in clarity, alignment, and impact, they probably become the most trusted people in the room. If you find this video insightful, please hit the like button and subscribe to this channel. If you have questions or want to share your thoughts, please post in the comments below. Thank you for watching, and I will see you next time.